Hey guys, this is Asad Siddiqui again. I'm the owner and developer at iDesignSmart.com. And in my previous video, I showed you guys how to set up the Avada theme and how to set up the premium plugins and do the basic setup properly on your hosting account. So I wanted to make a quick follow-up. Even in that video, the 15-minute short video, I showed you how to import the demo content. So in this video, I will show you how to reset your WordPress installation. So in case you import something that you don't like or you want to try something else, you don't want to duplicate the content. So in this video, we will go over how to reset your content in WordPress using a plugin and the easy way to do it. And then I will also show you how you can import some other sample content, and then we will go over how to quickly change the content with the Avada Fusion Builder. So that's what I am planning to do in this video. So let's get started. So before I do anything else, what I would like to show you guys is how we manage updates in Avada. So I haven't done anything on this installation from my last video where I set up Avada theme and put in the registration code and all that stuff. So once it's registered and a new update is available, you will see pop-ups like this. So if you need to install any updates, you will see a bubble with the number of updates that is indicated here. So click on the updates. And once you do that, then it will show you what updates are available. So in my case, 5.5.2 is installed and update to 5.6.2 is out. So what I need to do to update the Avada theme, because it is set up and registration licensing is set up, I can simply click here and click on the update themes. Now, if any of the plugins that you have installed are updated, they will show up there. Obviously, I'm not talking about the bundled plugins like Fusion Core and Fusion Builder that come with Avada. I'm talking about like third-party plugins that are not Avada bundled plugins. So if these are displayed in an order, so the plugins will be displayed first, then the themes will be displayed first. If there is a new version of WordPress out, that will be here. So you have to follow the updates in that order only. So that's the best way to do it. So if there is a WordPress core update, you want to install that first. And if there's a plugin update, you want to install that first. And then there are theme updates that you can install. I really don't care about the 2017 theme, so I'm just gonna select Avada and click on update themes. So once the Avada theme is updated, then we also need to update the bundled plugins that come with Avada, like Fusion Core and Fusion Builder. So that part is done. And now I'll click on the Avada. So now what we need to do is Avada is updated. Once we go to Avada panel and click on plugins, then you see this notice that says installation update of required plugins needed. So I will just go ahead and again the same order that they're displayed in. So I need to install the Fusion Core first. So I will update that to the latest, which is 3.6.2, and then I'll go back to the plugins page. And now I want to update Fusion Builder. Fusion White Label Branding is a plugin that can be used to change how your basic backend is set up. So for membership sites or somewhere where people can log in, they will not see the default WordPress editor, and you can change the themes and stuff like that. Alright, so looks like everything is good to go. If there is any other premium plugin that you're using like Slider, Evolution, Layer Slider, and an update is available and bundled with Avada, you can go ahead and activate that. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you're interested in Avada and WordPress, you can go ahead and do that, because I am planning a lot of content. We'll go over WooCommerce in great detail and create a WordPress site with like sliders and WooCommerce. So that's the next thing on my agenda. So the themes and bundled plugin is one thing. The next thing is Fusion Patcher. So click on the Fusion Patcher and you can just click on these apply patches button. and they are in order. So again, the same order that they're displayed in. So now we are up to date. Everything is latest and greatest and looking great. So I will just go ahead and visit my site in the separate window, and there it is. So my site is there. Right now I do not have the Revolution slider installed. So it's just displaying a shortcode for Revolution slider here. So on the sample layout, probably there was a Revolution slider here as well. So might as well we will just go ahead and install it while we are at it. So to do that, we will go to plugins under Avada, and we will install the Revolution slider, activate it. So typically the sample content will actually tell you what plugins are needed for that sample to work, but I just wanted to show the process in my previous video on how to import sample content. So that's why I just didn't care for like activating all the plugins and do that, because hosting setup and memory and all that kind of stuff is also very important for the performance. Now this plugin is a little heavy duty plugin, like there's a lot going on in this. So it takes a while to install and activate it, and a lot of times you'll just see like a error message when you try to activate it. This time luckily I didn't. So it does say that a new version is available, so I will just go ahead and update the installation so I can get the latest and greatest and go back to the required plugins. Okay, so the second most important topic that we'd like to cover is how to reset content on your WordPress. So to do that, you will just go to plugins in your WordPress, and right now I have, you see, Slider Core, Fusion Builder, and Contact Form 7. So I have enough plugins to support any sample content import. So what I'm gonna do is add new, and I will search for WordPress Reset. That's the plugin I use. It's very simple and easy and does a job every time. So you see this WP Reset Fastest WordPress plugin. There are a variety of them, but I think I'm gonna go with this one because I've used this before. So once this is installed, I'll just go ahead and activate it. Okay, so now WP Reset is there, and now we want to get rid of anything that we did here. So what we are going to do is go there and simply go to Tools and say WP Reset. So we'll just click on WP Reset, and I'm not gonna change anything here. Reactivate, really I don't care about it, but okay, so reactivate current theme, and I don't need that plugin. Reactivate all currently active plugins, and then we need to type reset in this text box and reset WordPress. So this shows a warning, and I will just click on reset. So now it goes, and resetting is in progress. So these two boxes, what they do is once everything is reset, they will still set up my active theme as Avada, and they will activate all the plugins that are active right now again. So that's a good thing because I don't have to do all of that again or do any setup or any installation or whatever. So it'll just give me a plain old WordPress with Avada installed and all the core plugins installed, and then we'll go ahead and import a sample content. Okay, so it does look like that my Avada theme is all reset, and all you see is the default WordPress post. Now one thing that might happen is when you reset the WordPress, you might have to register the product again. Although that's an easy way to reset WordPress, is you do want to register the theme again because it gets rid of the database entries when you reset. So you can click on that product registration link and register it again, and I had to do that so I can continue to work with everything, all the options available. Now I will want to go to the demo content and show you guys how to import a demo content. Right now I'm not working with any demo content. So under Avada you want to click demos, and I'm on version 5.6.2 because these things can change rapidly, and this is these are all the demos that are available in Avada, and you can see there are a lot of them to choose from. So if you want to preview them, let's say I want this freelancer one, so I will just go ahead and preview that. So open link in a new tab, and this will show me. Okay, so that is how the layout is gonna be. So this is a pretty modern layout. You can do that, and the menu will come up, and you click on work, and so these are different pages. So this is not a single page website. So I think this is a very nice example which will give you a nice overview on how things are set up and how you can work with Fusion Builder, set up the menus and stuff. So I will go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and click on import. So once you click on import, it says the following plugins are required to import the content. I have all of the 3 active, and import content must only import with all. So you click on that, and then you click on import. I will just say okay to that, and now it shows me a progress bar, and it shows me that the content is being imported. All right, slider theme options, general data. Okay, so looks like I'm all set up. So if I do done and I refresh my wptutorials.com, you will see a brand new site without having to do anything, with all the sliders done and all the content updated. So this is absolutely great. Now we need to just build on it and understand how this is set up and how we can change a lot of different aspects in this website. So the first thing is the header and the sticky header and the menu configuration. We'll briefly go over the theme options. So this is the widget area. So this is an about widget with some recent works, and we'll go over the configuration of that as well. So going step by step, the first thing here is the logo and the menu. So let's go over to see where the logos and the menus are. What you want to do is to go to theme options straight away, and I'm going to show you a cool option where you can change these things, like where you can easily find where the options are by using the search option right here. But if you click on logo, that is where the logo will be set up. So they have set up a default logo. They have set up a retina logo. Retina logo is just twice the resolution of the main logo, nothing special. So if you want to change this logo to something else, you are going to remove it and upload your own. And the sticky header logo and the sticky header retina, you can also upload the same ones. And if you like to use a separate mobile logo, you can go ahead and do that. If you want the same logo, then the default logo will be displayed. The margins determine what the overall height of this header will be. So how much space will be from the top to the logo and the bottom to the logo, and right and left will be put in. So you can adjust these numbers, and it will increase or decrease the margins on those. Now, how is the menu set up? Like 3 bars, like ultra modern, like mobile type menu. So if you are in a responsive view, that is how it's going to look like. So those are options in Avada, and you can click on menu. Oh, I think it's header, not menu. So you can click on header, and here are the different header styles that you can select from Avada. So right now, the one that is selected is the one that shows this 3-bar menu, logo on the left side, and a widget with the menus. Like in this case, it's a search widget, but in this case, it's like a plus sign text widget. So you can set up your headers any of these ways by default, and if you'd like to create custom headers, then it's a separate discussion. You need to go ahead and install child themes and code some PHP to make sure that your header is what you want it to be. So that is how this setup is done, is with this header type. And how to create a menu, like these 4 things are available here. To do that, I'm gonna open a separate tab, and under appearance, go to menus and open a link in a new tab. Okay, and this is the menu called freelancer main menu, which is set up as a main navigation, and these are the pages that are showing. So if you want to add new pages, you can just click that and add to menu. If you want to add post, or you want to add custom links, you can add all that. Okay, so that is how the menu is configured, and that is how the header is configured. So that was a little bit about configuration. I'm not going to go over a lot of detail on how individual options are set, because the goal of this video is to provide you with an overview on how to work with this stuff. So let's go ahead and find out what these sections are and how we can modify it, how we can modify the picture in the background. So to do that, we'll just open the page in the Fusion Builder view and see what elements are used to build this page. So once you edit the page, it's gonna open, and right now we see that Fusion slider is being used, and the slider is assigned via Fusion page options, slider ID home. So if this was built using the Revolution slider, you will see a ref slider ID, but right now it says that a Fusion slider is used, and I am not very experienced with Fusion sliders, but I'm just gonna take a stab at it and say edit slides right there and see what happens. So this looks pretty simple. This is like a custom post type sliders, and here you have basically a slider image. So whatever image you have here, you can select a different one. For example, if you want to select a different photo, so I will select that. Okay, all right, so I selected that and say set featured image, and so basically this I changed, and whatever is your, so there is some HTML content and you can modify this right there. So so instead of Avada freelance, I'm gonna say Atlanta WordPress freelance, and I will just say okay. So you can change the formatting from heading 2, you can change to heading 4 or 5, change the size, change the colors, change the backgrounds, and I'm gonna show you an easy way on how to figure out the colors that you want. So if I update this, and then we'll go back to the view the page, and let's see if any of our changes are reflected. Okay, so instead of the whatever slider there was, you can see a new slider, and you can see these words being updated and this content being updated. So instead, like art director, how do I find the color for it? An easy way that I do is just right clicking here and inspecting and figuring out in Google developer tools what this element is. So I'm gonna, so you see the color code there is 5A255B hex. So if I want to change it, I can just click on there and select something else like that, and then once I'm done, the color code will be this. So I can just grab it and I can just put it inside of my sliders where I'm updating the content. So I can put it here, and my text color is gonna change whenever I refresh the page. So that was line 1. The caption area is where it says if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, like this. Let's say we do want to change the color of that to little darker maybe, or something that goes well with our picture. So I'm gonna inspect that, and then I'm gonna find out what the color is for that is right here, and instead of that I'm gonna just select like that. So that is not a great choice actually, so I think black will be better. So I will just go ahead and put all zeros in my hex, which is in my color. So caption area, background, caption background, there has to be a color specified. That was the heading color, and caption background color, caption background, caption color. So I will just put in 1 2 3 4 5 6. Font size can be controlled from here. Okay, so, and call to action buttons can be added if you would like to add that as well. Okay, so that was a quick overview on the Fusion Builder and how we can go about that. I will just go ahead and refresh. All right, so I'm the art director. Instead of art director, I'm gonna say WordPress developer. So I will just change the content there. Okay, so Where is our director? Okay. Atlanta WordPress freelance is misspelled, so we will put an R there, and the art director, I don't see it, so we'll need to figure out where that is. Okay, oh, right there. So it's outside of the span, and that's why I couldn't figure it out. So that's just heading area, and they're not different fields. So what you can do is put in your formatted HTML, which a lot of you don't like. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. But I'm sorry, that's how it is done in Fusion Builder. So you can put as much content as you want with the HTML styling in it, and spans and divs that you can style and you have total control over. So instead of saying art director, I'm gonna say WordPress developer, and I will just go ahead and update it. All right. So now if I refresh this, this is gonna change, and then again I have total control on how this is displayed. Now you see these are displayed in 2 lines, which I am not a big fan of. So because I would like the this WordPress developer to be smaller, so I can put in some CSS, another span, to make sure that this fits in 1 line. So that will be a custom CSS thing. For right now, I'm just gonna make it shorter and make it say CSS developer or something like that, so it fits. And I do have videos on my channel showing how to write custom CSS and qualified CSS and that kind of stuff if you're interested. Even that doesn't fit, so I'm just gonna say developer so it doesn't bug me while working on this, because things like that bug me. Okay, so I'm just gonna say developer, Atlanta WordPress freelance, whatever. And okay, so this looks nice. And now we will jump right into Fusion Builder and how to set up the various elements there are. So okay, so now our sliders, we discussed how to do the slider logo, set up the menu. Now we'll go ahead and see what can we do to update these. So we are again in the page edit view in Avada theme, and you see that there is a text block that is being used, and all this is, you can toggle the text view there, and all you see is a heading 2 with a text line center called about me. So one quick suggestion when you're using Fusion Builder is to update the content in text view as opposed to HTML, because it might have markup that you can mess up in text blocks. So here you can just update this text. So instead of that, I'm just gonna put my name in and just say save. Just to show you guys that it got updated. All right, so here it says UI and UI expert, again a text block. So I'm gonna go into text view, and instead of that I will say WordPress, and instead of UX I will say Avada. Okay, and we will save that. That's good. Now the next element in here, you can just do that, and it's a separator. So that's typically like if you look here, there's a line there which is the separator. So it is selected as single border solid. You go to design and you can select the colors and how much space there will be over there. So there's a color and there is a margin bottom for 50 pixels, so there will be a 50 pixel space between this line and the next element. So that is how that is set up. And then you will see that this was, so the blue is a container, and you can edit the container or collapse it or expand it. So once it's expanded, in the inside of the container you have columns. So the first column was where we were doing the heading stuff. The next section is 2 columns, and one of them is a text block with a bunch of sample content like there. So you can change this content and in the second column you have a bunch of content like that, so you can change those. Now it doesn't have to be text. Now you can add a photo or a different Fusion Builder element if you want to do that. There is no restriction, and you can clone existing columns like that, or edit the column, or change the widths of the column. So instead of half and half layout, if I wanted, I can do 2 by 3 and 1 by 3, for example. So it all depends on how you want to set up your layout. Okay, so that is a good thing. So about me, this, and okay, so the next thing is backgrounds of the various section and columns. So if you look at the section about me, it has certain background design that is being done. So you can like there's a color, or there could be a picture, there could be parallax, the way it works. So to configure that for the section, you need to click on this pen icon and click on background, and that is where you are going to select the background. In this case, they are just set to black and nothing else, but you can upload a picture, select like if it's fixed or parallax, and in general set the heights of the various columns, and in design is where the most of the stuff is. So you can select the border colors, border size, styles, padding, margins of your container. So that is for the container that contains everything. But if you want to do that individually on the columns like that, then you can override these settings in column settings as well. So you go there, and in design you will have an image, a border color, and you can configure all the background stuff, parallax, effects, and that kind of thing. So animation, you can do slide and bounce and fade and flash and whatever, whatnot, all the stuff that jQuery supports. So that is how you update text blocks, and the next section is pretty much the same. So why work with me is a text block. 1 by 6 1 by 6 is typically done to add some spacing and make the content 2 by 3 look centered. So that is pretty simple. The next element there is the counter circles. So that's also a Fusion Builder element. To add Fusion Builder elements in a container or inside of a column, you will just like for example, if I added a new section a new container altogether, I will just go ahead and do that in the towards the end. There's a lot of elements up here. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just add a container. So if you hover over the container towards the end, you will get the plus container. So you can click on that, and then it shows you what kind of container you want. So you can by default just go with 1 by 1, and now you have a container with a full width 1 by 1 column. You can obviously change that to half and half, or 2 by 3 and 1 by 3, or however you want it to be. And if you want to add columns, you can just click on that button and say what type of columns you want. So if you do that, then it will add those columns. So okay, so I will just get rid of it, and we'll start going over some of the elements that they have. So counter circles is another element, and for example, you want to add new elements to the column, is you can click on this element button, and then a whole bunch of elements show up that you can use in your design. And the documentation for these elements should be on Fusion Builder's support site, so that comes with the Avada theme. And if you want to edit this counter circle, you just click on this pen icon, and that is the element that we want to edit. So that's the fill color, how much percentage will be filled. So instead of 89, I'm gonna say 96, and save. And you will notice that the first counter element will be like more filled than the others. And where it says web design, branding, UI, UX, I'll also show you where to update that. So if I refresh the page at this point, you will see that the first one is more filled than the second, and third one is probably a little more filled, UX. But you can see how the counter elements work. We'll also go over where to edit the icons for the counter elements. So to do that, you will just go there, and this is the element that we are updating. And if you go a little more down, okay, so that's the counter circle text. and in that they have just used the font awesome icon fa-gitlab. So that's the icon that is being displayed, font awesome. If you go to site, you can see all the icons and their codes that you can use. So if you want to replace that icon, you'll just use a different name here, and that will update everything there. You can also change the animation speeds, countdown circles, colors, and that kind of stuff. Okay, and if you want to have okay, so that is not done here. You can do the same thing over there and same thing over there as well. So in the next column, there's a separator, there's a section separator, and if you go to section separator, that's the slant. So if you look at here, you see the slant. So that is done like that. So in the section separator, you can select slant, and this will give you a slant to work with, and that's the color that the section will be, the section separator will be. And then you move on to the next section. So the next section is recent work section, like that, and then we can see what is being done there. So there is a text element that says web branding and UI UX whatever. So I'll just cancel that. And the next one, more interested in okay, so this is just a space, a separator right there, and we'll cancel out from that. And the next one is a portfolio element, portfolio elements, and it says all categories I can show me the portfolio posts. So the portfolio element is really cool, and you can configure your portfolio elements right there. So you can say add new portfolio, or you can add things to your existing portfolio. So I'm just gonna open it in a new tab and show you what is configured. So those are the pictures or posts that are configured for portfolio post types. If you want to add more, you can add more and set a featured image, but that is what is being pulled in the portfolio element as it is configured here. So if you click on that, you will see all the different options that you can do. You can pull posts from a particular category, and you can add some filtering. You can also change the layout to masonry or carousel, which are like, this is a slide vertical slideshow type of layout. Masonry is not even like a grid, so you can do all that. If you're working with grid layouts, I would recommend to go with equal size pictures, or make sure your pictures are the same size so they get resized the same way. So that is a quick overview, quick and dirty overview of portfolio element. You can also change the animation which they haven't set. So that is how the if you select show filters, then it'll give you some sorting options like essential grid. So you can do all that. You can select the categories that you want to pull from. You can pull by tags. A lot of options in the portfolio setup. So you can do a portfolio setup, and the next element says view all work. So if we go down further, see, these are nice because they kind of flip, they have a nice style, they go well with the site, and they're full width. So then it does all, and then there's a button that says view all work right there, which is in the Fusion Builder. Next element is some testimonials with a open quotes, and then like testimonials slider. So if you go there, what you will see is this is just an image. So you just put an image there. You can change the image if you want. You can remove it or edit it. And then there is a separator, and then there is another element for testimonials. So 2 testimonials have been added. You can add another one if you want. And for every testimonial, if you want to edit that, you can put the name there and the text that you want to show over here, and you can format it in however you want to format it. Okay, so instead of 2, right now there are 2, you can add 5, and 5 bullets will show, and you'll see 5 testimonials. So after that, there is another section for like clientele logos, which are grayscale. So if you click on that, so the element is image carousel. So there is a image carousel that you can control, and you can add more logos or change the PNG. So these are transparent If you go there, so you can see still the background behind the logo. This is because the picture is transparent and done with a PNG. And if you go down, you see a section separator with a slant again and says expert design advice, and pretty much the same thing. And then there are blog posts. So if I go over there and look at this section, then there is a section separator with a slant, a color, and then there is expert design, trending design, and then there's a blog element. So this blog element can show you blog posts that you have in your WordPress website, or you can add more, and you can again pull by categories or tag or exclude categories, include categories, change the ordering in which they're being displayed, and that kind of stuff. So this is a widget, very nice Fusion Builder element that can be used to display blog post. Again, another section, let's work together. Okay, and if you're going this way of about creating your site where you import sample content and start changing it, you don't have to have all the sections that they have in the sample import. So for example, if you don't like let's work together section, let's say we don't need it. So after the blog post, let's work together, if you don't need it altogether, I don't want to get rid of this, let's get rid of the blog post. Let's say we don't want to show those. You can simply delete the whole section and update the page, and the blog posts are gonna go. In the same way, if you want to duplicate, you can use the clone functionality of any container to duplicate. All right, so here we will just refresh and see that our elements are gone. Okay, so now you see after expert design advice, I am directly into that, and this is just a formatted contact form. Okay, nothing special. Let's talk. This button is coming from the contact form. This is just a footer configuration. Now I do want to show you where to set up this and the footer. So what we will do is go to the appearance section, and under appearance we want to go to widgets, and the footer stuff is all coming from footer widgets. So you go to footer widget 1, and there is an image. Okay, so edit image. So I believe there, yeah, this is the image. So if you want to edit the image or replace it, you can. So it is right now 93 by 93 and it's transparent, looks like. Okay, so that is the footer widget that is being displayed right now. And then there's a copyrights area for this setup. So for this particular setup, you can set it up in Avada theme. Remember, you can do pretty much whatever you want. So it doesn't have to be one column for the footer. It's very flexible. So here I'm just gonna write copyrights, and hopefully it'll find something. If not, then the footer content is where I want to be. Okay, so the copyrights bar is there, and you can change all the text and links and all that stuff there. And you can also change how the footer effects are in your footer setup. Similarly, you can do that for header as well. So very nice theme overall. For the social media icons, you can set up all the links and social media and theme options as well. So there is a social media option there. Let's find that. So I'm gonna type social and hit enter, and now it shows me, okay, social media links is the section. So you can like add your Facebook links or LinkedIn links and that kind of stuff. Header social icons, if you add a header style that displayed social icons in the header, then you can set up those over there. And then footer social icons is on, and right now it's gonna just display. So this is what I'm not sure about. It's displaying Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Dribble. So let's say where the Dribble option is or any other option is being showed from, because when I look at social media, looks like only Facebook is added. Okay, so So it has to be somewhere over here, but there are so many options, I don't even know where that is, so I'll have to do some research. But I think you get a good idea on how these are set up and how to set up the basic layout. Now, before you get started on the design project, you have to make sure what kind of layout you want with it and what kind of separators you're going to use, how your sections are going to look like. And this looks absolutely fabulous in the mobile view. So if I resize the window and then I look at it, it looks like an app. Very, very nice. And then based on the menu, we'll just go to some other page. So I'll go to the work page, and you will notice that essentially it's the same setup as the home page. So it's pretty much the same thing. Here you can change these elements, change the colors, but overall it's a very nice design, looks a very impressive website. So that was my quick overview about how to work with Fusion Builder, import sample content, and then change the sample content. We are gonna talk about so much more. I do plan a video about Revolution slider, and I do plan a video about layer slider, and I do plan a video about WooCommerce, where we'll go with WooCommerce in detail, and I'll give you the overview on how to set up WooCommerce and your shop if you have some products, and how to build all that. So subscribe, keep watching the videos, and I do appreciate your support. If you do have any customization work that you are interested to pursue with me, my email address and contact detail is in the description of this video. And I do appreciate your time in watching this video. Until next time.